It's so weird to go to the movies at night again. It's been like years since I've gone to the movies at night. I usually go like early in the day because I got other shit to do. But anyway, these last two movies I've seen like right after work, so it's been late, and then I get home at fucking almost 2 in the morning. Anyway, so I went to go see The Shape of Water, and I'm just so happy to be seeing really good movies. Not that like a lot of movies this year has been shit, although I've been kind of catching up on some of the movies I've missed, and some of them have been pretty bad. Um, but it's Guillermo del Toro. Like like he hasn't put out a movie where I'm just like, you know what I mean? Am I crooked or is the camera crooked? Okay, I'm crooked. But yeah, like I loved it. You know, it's fucking Guillermo del Toro's, and it's like this is why I love like directors and like artists to be that asshole, you know, like him and like Edgar Wright and stuff like that, where you have to pay like so much attention to their movies, and you know, and you have to watch it like 5 times to like catch it all, kind of shit, you know. And it's just I love it. There's so much like added detail and everything to it, and it's like I kind of, I don't want to say I saw all of it, but I noticed it, especially like as a fellow artist myself. Um, because it's like the color palette. Like, of course, that's always the first thing I notice with things. It's the color palette, you know. Um, the color palette, the use of like blues and greens and the main characters, you know, like the main character itself, you know, like oh my god, I'm all over the place. Sorry, I'm just really excited. Let me dial that back a bit. So, initially, I wasn't gonna go see it the weekend it came out because I already made plans to go see it, The Disaster Artist, and I was gonna go see this with like Paul, like some other day, you know, when we were both available, kind of shit. Like this is our movie, but for Star Wars, you know, kind of shit. But last night, well, Guillermo del Toro tweeted out that he was going to do an extra Q&A at the theater I go to all the time. Because I actually didn't know. Because this is why I don't have a Twitter, so I kind of miss out on things. But there was like a 7 o'clock showing where like it was a planned Q&A, which explains why that line was insane and all that shit. But I guess because of the support of it, and I'm guessing that showing like sold out in a heartbeat, he was like, you know what, we're gonna do an extra one. And because of that, and I was like, well, I have to go. I have to go. I love Guillermo del Toro. I would love to work with him one day. To be very honest, you know, like I love making monsters and stuff, and it's like I love, you know, just just a pool of tears, you know. So I was like, I have to go, I have to go. You know, I bought my ticket, like, and all I'm thinking is like, I wonder if all these people, because you get to like reserve your seat and stuff, and while I'm buying it, I'm like, I'm wondering if any of these people who've bought their ticket, like like way in advance, know that this is gonna happen. And so I get to the theater, you know, all that stuff, and like a couple people I noticed, like they kind of like knew about it because they were kind of like amongst their friends. I heard them talking about it. One group of guys, like I heard them asking associates, like, "Is this really happening?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, like just, you know, like just stay after the movie, blah blah blah." Once you know, I got into the theater, I saw chairs in the front, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is really happening! It's really happening!" You know, I was just afraid it like either I bought the wrong showtime or like, oh sorry, actually in the end Mr. Del Toro's too busy, you know. And I didn't want to hype myself up, and I didn't want to like tell everyone kind of stuff. Like I of course let my mother know, and then my closest friends. But like I was just like, all right, I don't really want to talk. Like I just keep it shut, you know. Funny enough, people who came into the theater didn't even notice that there was like fucking chairs, like in the front. Well, you know the fucking like you know director's chair things there. So at one point during like a regular commercial before it was even like trailers, the sound went out, and then like a manager or someone comes up and was like, "Hey guys, some of you might know, some of you might not. You know, after when the movie ends, if you want to stay, you know, Mr. Guillermo del Toro and cast are going to be here to do a Q&A. And I just heard like so many people being like, oh my god, you know, and I was like, awesome. Like, that's great. None of them knew. And at first I was like, the crowd was like, later I saw a lot of people like around my age and stuff, but like a good amount of the crowd was like my mom's age, you know, like much older, like, alright, we're done going, we're Southern, we're done going to church and being old and stuff, and so we're gonna head to the theaters and watch someone want to fuck a fish kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I didn't ask anything during the Q&A because I wouldn't know what to ask, and pretty much what I would have asked the first person asked, which again was about colors and stuff like that. And colors, and also I couldn't seem like I couldn't because in all honesty I probably would be like, oh yeah, me, and then they're like, oh, and I would be like Sweet D when she tries to do like got fucking dust on me whenever she try to do comedy. So I'd just be like, so oh yeah, Mr. Del Toro, you know, would have just been me like, you know, like, I just want to, you know, so that wouldn't have been good. So I was just like, you know, I'll let have these people ask questions. I'm gonna enjoy, take a bunch of pictures, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah. So the movie, again, when he talked about the color palette stuff, I noticed it because that's like my main thing. Like, for fuck's sakes, like for my comic, I fussed over the color palette for like a while, you know. Like I wrote the comic, planned it all out, and then I was like, all right, gotta work on it. Color palette, fuck, you know. But yeah, so like he also mentioned, like, again, besides color palette stuff, he was also like, oh, you might have noticed, like, when this and this happens. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, I noticed it, I noticed it, I can work with you. You know? It's like, I'm a mess, you know? Like, I truly love his work, I really do, you know? Like, when we were at C2E2, I bought, like, this freaking book, you know? And I'm like, I have to, like, I have it, like, have it right here, you know, like it's next to my bed because I want to learn about my future boss, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm a mess. I should really talk about the movie. I'm 7 minutes in. I just realized I'm 7 minutes in on this fucking review. So anyway, but yes, I don't want to go too heavily into spoilers. I will a little bit later in, but I really like this. It's a very good story, and in the Q&A, he even kind of mentioned how, like, like, this story, it kind of is one of those, like, oh, you would, I don't want to say it's been told before, but, like, he was saying how, like, you know, he made it in the perspective of, like the voiceless, and he was talking about, like, what do you call that, like, the, what is it, not symbolism, but how, like, it relates to current things, so, like, the main character's mute, but he was talking about, like, the voiceless, like, he's like, women of color, people of color, like, if you're just not a white male, you know, that kind of stuff. And he was saying how, like, if this movie was made back in the day, you know, like, Michael Shannon's character would have been the hero, because this monster who is a very much like Guillermo del Toro's version of the creature from the Black Lagoon kind of thing. You know, but like you care for this character instead of being like, it's that monster, run, kill it, you know. And he was talking about, it was just so much. I didn't record any of the Q&A because I was just, you know, I was taking it in, you know. I took it in. It's in me. I'm a mess again, you know. But anyway, so it's just, yeah, it's so weird. It's like a love story. It's just, and the fact it takes place like in the early 60s, and I love that it's like he wasn't shy to talk about, like, he wasn't shy about anything, you know, because there are times where movies, it'll be a period movie and it'll take place like, okay, you know, kind of somewhere around the civil rights movement kind of thing, but like they kind of ignore it, you know, or they pull a Sofia Coppola and don't even mention slavery in a movie that takes place during the Civil War, you know, like that kind of stuff. But instead it would be like, okay, we're talking about how, like, these characters work here, and then there's this like monster thing. Like, okay, there's stuff like this, and it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, whatever. But we're all in it. But then every so often, like the real comes in, and it's like, the next door neighbor, it like kind of fancies the guy at the diner, and then he kind of like, hits on him. The guy's like, whoa, like, whoa, like, I need you to leave and never come back to the diner. And the guy's like, okay. And then like this black couple comes in, and the guy goes, hey, you can't sit at the counter. He was like, you can't sit at the counter. Only, if you want to order something, you can't eat it here. You have to take it out. And they're like, but it's empty. He's like, it's a fair, like, shoo away, black people, And it's like every so often, like, racism, homophobia kind of shit just like comes in, and you get like, you go from like the kind of fairy tale fantasy thing of like this woman falling in love with like a fish person kind of thing to like, oh yes, racism still exists, homophobia is still a thing, and but it doesn't become jarring, it doesn't just like kind of come out of left field. It's like, because it's within that time period and everything, it's just like, it is what it is kind of stuff. And it's just, oh man, I just love it. And God bless, I love Octavia Spencer, and she's so awesome. God, I just like love everything, like everything about this movie. Like I need this on video already. This and Disaster Artist, just want to back and forth, laugh a bunch, and then just do a little single, like, pretty cry. Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, like towards the end, like a little tear, like my eyes got a little watery, and I was like, but it's just so like, oh man, and like the next door neighbor character who's like the artist and all that stuff. I was like, God, I relate to this all too well, being the artist and like not getting your work taken seriously and no one caring about you, But anywho, yeah, it's just, oh my God, I just fucking love it. And again, like his use of colors and all the little like hints here and there, and just, oh my God, I'm just like so happy and upset. I feel kind of like exactly how I felt when I came out of Blade Runner 2049. It's like, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's kicking me in the ass to like do better and better work, and I'm also slightly getting like to the I'm depressed side. Like, I'm happy, but I'm also over here on the depressed side saying like, oh no, will I ever get to this level, and like, wow, that's like the me, and then this is where I want to be. It's over there, like, there's not even like the bracket, just over there. It's like me and then over there, and I'm like, how do I get over there? But anyway, The Shape of Water, I really enjoy it. It's so like, God, like I said, I love Guillermo del Toro. I love his movies. I love how so many things are thought out. Like the use of music in it, and again, just like Edgar Wright, like the use of music is always, like, they're always so smart with the use of music, Just like, how I spoke about like with Suicide Squad, where it's just like, here's a song and stuff, and here's another one, just like throwing you in the face, like it doesn't seem planned out. Like it's like a badly edited YouTube video where like in 30 seconds it was 3 different songs playing, kind of shit. But like with him, like it's just like it's thought out, and there's a reason for if a song plays, and you listen carefully to the lyrics, and that's why you're using it. It's not just like to fill in space kind of thing. And oh my God, having Renee Fleming sing the main song, and I'm like, I just can't handle this anymore, Oh my God, like Michael Shannon just like, he is so good at playing someone you hate, but he is such a nice man. Because during the Q&A, he made it real. He was just like, he's like, yeah, like, I'm in acting because like I get to play. He was like, I like to see if I can like empathize, sympathize with like the other side. And I was like, oh shit. And he was talking about how like, like, because the main thing is also like, they were bringing in like current political climate stuff, because Guillermo was saying how like this was written like way before the U.S. election and all that stuff, but now it seems even more prevalent, and Michael Shannon was like, yeah, like, I play these bad guys so I can like empathize with them, but really I just want to set them on fire. And I'm like, oh my God, Michael Shannon, he's such a sweet man. Like, the sweetest people play like the worst people, and that's what I fucking love. But yeah, like, Oh man, I love it. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy I saw it. Well, one, of course, I would have saw it either way, but I'm just so happy to see it with the Q&A, so I don't have to like wait too long for it to come on video to like listen to the audio commentary to like kind of like make sure I caught all the things he wanted me to catch kind of stuff because he was like, yeah, like he specifically wanted to make sure the main character, like her apartment was very much in like the blues and greens, but everyone else had warm tones, and the only time she had any, like the only, like red was a like a very like there was a reason for red to be in places only specifically for said things, and I'm just like, I noticed it. Oh, me, I noticed it. Can I work for you now? Because I noticed things. I am a sad person, Jesus Christ. But, of course, like, anyway, there's so much more I want to talk about, but it's just like, because it's a movie I really, really enjoy. I don't want to spoil it fully, because so much goes on in it, and it's just like I don't know, just I really enjoy it, so I definitely want everyone else to go see it. So trailers, there was a lot of trailers because this movie was like well over 2 hours, and there was a lot of trailers. Anyway, so the first one is Winchester, the house that ghosts built. Of course, based on the Winchester mansion, like all that stuff. And it has Helen Mirren in it as the Lady Winchester, but like this is such a jump scare heavy movie, and I feel kind of upset about it because I love Helen Mirren and I love the whole like I don't want to say mythos, but like the whole story of Winchester Manor or Mansion or whatever, Winchester House. That like I just feel like that like the jump scares kind of diminish it, because like in the trailer there's like two jump scares, the whole like, oh, like I have a mirror, like here's the back, here's the mirror facing the background, here's facing me, here's the background, here's me, oh, then I turn the mirror this way and it's like boy face, and you're just like, all right. And then after that was A Quiet Place. See, here's another thing. I love that this is a Guillermo del Toro movie I'm going to go see. It's not a horror film, but so many things were horror. Like, it's funny because he even mentioned that in the Q&A how he was really upset with the marketing for Crimson Peak because they were trying to sell it as a horror film, even though it's not. It's a gothic romance thing. Which, because it's him, I was like, I don't give a fuck what you do. I'm gonna watch it. This one, he said he had a little bit more control in the advertising and all that stuff, which the movie is. It's a movie that makes you want to fuck a fish. That's what it is. The Shape of Water. You're gonna want to fuck a fish. Anyway, so after the Winchester trailer, there was A Quiet Place. That's the movie with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, where they're just kind of like, it looks like some kind of post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Not post-apocalyptic, but you know what I mean? Like, some shit went real, but everyone's quiet. And then if you make a sound, then you're all dead. But it's like, it seems really intense. So I kind of can't wait to see that. After that is, I think it's the final Insidious movie. I think because they said they want to do like a final one. At first I didn't even realize it was an Insidious movie. I was like, oh, this actress looks familiar. And then I'm like, okay, it's kind of horror. And then it goes like, producer James Wan. And I'm like, and I just went, of course. And then I noticed, I'm like, wait a second. It's that, the lady in, was it the third one? Oh, well, she was in all of them, but I think she died in like the second one. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she was one of the paranormal people who like, she ended up getting killed, but this is like her prequel, like how she came to be and things and stuff. But this one, like, the Winchester house was very like the whole like bam jump scare, bam stinger kind of thing. But this one was more just kind of like that bad because it's also James Wan, so he's a lot better at the creep factor, the suspense, the oh my god, like, and then you're just like, and it's not really like a jump scare, but it's more just like the whole like, oh yeah, we're gonna pan and da da da, but you like see something like something in the background, but like they don't linger on it, like they're like, no, the audience isn't stupid. I don't need to like stop at a thing behind me, So you know, there's that. Next is like something, God, tonal shift. Is some movie called Alpha, and then I wrote down Wolf and Boy, which is just a movie about like how 20,000 years ago, like indigenous people, this boy has to like it's the whole like when leaders die, like oh when all leaders die, you have to become a leader yourself, and he has to like do his thing, like he dies, and then like he gets struck by lightning, comes back to life, and there was like this wolf he was gonna kill, but he decided not to kill the wolf, and then him and the wolf become besties. I don't know. Like it's one of those movies where like that's how I feel about it. Oh, then there's 12 Strong, which I wrote down. God, I hate movies that use 9/11. I really do. I really can't stand movies that use 9/11 because like the movie just man, boom, just showed like like all those movies about 9/11. Like just I don't support. Like I just don't watch them because I'm like fuck you, you know. Like you know World Trade Center, like you know United 93 or whatever fucking shit. Like all those movies, like I just don't watch. The worst is when you watch a movie and then it ties in with 9/11 out of nowhere, like that Remember Me movie. You're like thank you. What's that incredibly loud and firmly soft whatever fucking movie it was? God. Anyway, 12 Strong, it's about like how like all these like soldiers on horseback fight Al Qaeda and first people to blah 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 whatever. Anyway, so then the next one after that is The Post. It's about like the Nixon era, about how like Meryl Streep has all this makeup on and she kind of looks like Margaret Thatcher, and it's Spielberg and all that stuff about like oh if you if you guys run more story you'll not this newspaper will never exist ever again, like it's Washington Post like yeah okay but then the last one is a Wes Anderson movie and it's called Isle of Dogs, and I didn't hear about it. I don't not that I hate Wes Anderson, but I'm not just like, oh, it's a new Wes. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it when I can. It's a stop motion animation thing about there's like an island in Japan that's like the trash island, but then because the country's been overrun by too many dogs, so then they just capture all the dogs and put them on the island, and then this little boy steals like a plane to go find his dog. And I'm glad it's stop motion animated because I feel like if this was like live action or anything, it just becomes like a fever dream, you know? But anyway, like that one looks interesting. But anyway, so go see Shape of Water. Of course, I enjoyed it. I love it. I would love to see it again, you know, hopefully someday maybe Paul is like free before Star Wars or even after Star Wars. You know, I don't give a shit. I love the movie. Can't wait for it to come on video. I love how the shift of like me being like Disaster Artist, oh my god, I love it, it's funny. Like I needed the laugh, I really did. In this one, like I needed like I feel like it's perfect time, like just after Blade Runner. I needed yet another movie, like a couple months later, to be like, no, you are on this path. You're gonna go on this path to better your damn art, you know? And just fucking kill it, you know? But anyway, before my camera overheats and all that stuff. Alright. Oh my god, 24 minutes. Jesus, I talk so much. No one watches these videos.